This classic episode of The Electric Playground is brought to you by P&P Games, your source for everything video games. Support the partners that support Electric Playground. Remember, this episode first aired in 2001. Welcome to The Electric Playground. We're your backstage pass to the video game industry.
That's right. Nowhere else on television will you find video game coverage like this.
Today on the show, we find out about Tommy's day job. We go on location to find out more about the hottest new NFL games. We fire off rocket launchers in the brand new Spy Hunter. And Tommy and I review some of the coolest games of 2001. A lot of people ask me how Tommy and I met and how he came to be a part of the Electric Playground. In fact, I think I can remember the first time that we met. How do you say your last name?
Tallarico.
Tallarico? Hi, this is Victor Lucas. I'm with the Electric Playground. I'm here at the E3 with Tommy Tallarico.
Where?
Right here, man, right here. Well, the truth is, I knew about Tommy long before he ever heard about this show. Tommy's been a part of the video game industry for more than a decade, creating music and sound effects for hundreds of games. His is a story of persistence, hard work, and success. Watch this. What drew you to video games? How did you get involved in video games?
Well, I tell you, there's two things I've always loved in life more than anything. It's music and video games.
Yeah.
I grew up in Springfield, Massachusetts. Great place to grow up, but not the best place in the world to become a professional musician. So I decided when I turned 21, look, I'm going to get in my car, I'm going to just pack up, and I'm going to go to California. I didn't know anyone, didn't have a place to stay. The first day out there, I got a job selling keyboards. I was actually wearing a TurboGrafx t-shirt. And the first customer I waited on was a producer at Virgin Games. He says, do you like video games? I said, I love video games. And he said, we're looking for people to hire as game testers. And I was the very first game tester ever hired at Virgin.
How did you transition from testing to making music for video games?
I bugged the vice president of that company every single day. And I said, look, I'm a musician. I don't know anything about programming. And MIDI had just come out. So I went to the programmers and I said, couldn't you guys write me something where I can take my keyboard and hook it right up to the game consoles? And they're like, well, yeah.
What made you think you could start a company that would just specialize in audio and music and sound effects for video games?
I was still at Virgin. You know, we'd won awards for Global Gladiators, and we did The Terminator, and we did Cool Spot and Aladdin. Capitol Records came to me, and they said, hey, wouldn't it be cool if you guys licensed some of our tracks? And I said, yeah, that would be cool. I'll tell you what's even more cool, though. What if you guys did an album of video game music? And we came out with Tommy Tallarico's Greatest Hits Volume 1. And that's when I said to myself, you know, why don't I just start my own company? And so that's what we did. We formed Tommy Tallarico Studios. In the last couple of years, we've done about 30 video games a year.
Wow.
To date, in my career, I've done over 200 video games.
You've been doing this for about 10 years now, 15 years? What have you learned about the industry, about yourself, about video games?
The great thing about the video game industry is that every year, we're breaking new ground. We're doing things that no one has ever done before. When we did a game like Tony Hawk Skateboarding, there was never a skateboarding game like that ever. When we were working on Aladdin, no one had ever seen cartoons being scanned in and moved. And I'll tell you what, we're only scratching the surface.
Today on Question of the Week, Wayne from Winnipeg, Manitoba asks, what company sells the most video games?
You guys know that we buy a lot of games every year. With 20% of a $1.5 billion pie, now that's just game sales, not hardware sales. Nintendo edge out companies such as Sony and Electronic Arts that are second and third place respectively.
If you have a question about the video game industry, visit our website at www.elecplay.com.
Hey, Nelson Tacoma Washington wants a code for All-Star Baseball 2002 for PlayStation 2. Enter the exhibition mode, press L2, R2, you'll hear a little sound. Now you've just unlocked 2 bonus teams, the Dingers and the Islanders, so batter up.
If you would like to request a code for a specific game, visit our website at www.electplay.com.
Hi, I'm Brian Green. I'm a sound programmer for Black Box Games. As a sound programmer, we write tools and drivers to help get sound into the game and played out of the console.
Toss out your halos and let's go!
So SoundMan, this sound tool that we see before us, is an in-house tool, which means we created it ourselves to help us get sound into a game. I helped design SoundMan, and another sound programmer here at Black Box actually did the programming to make all the windows show up and work the way a sound designer needs to actually input sound into a game. On the left-hand side here, we see the samples that are all currently in the game. The usefulness of this tool allows the sound designer the ability to change the sound of the game without having to actually change code in the game. So here they can set the volume of the sample triggered, the pan, the pitch. They can set other trigger attributes, whether or not it would randomly switch pitches. That would be good for sound effects that you would hear a lot of. If you randomize the pitch, it gets less fatiguing on the ear. Having the ability to easily experiment and change the sound of a game will really make a big difference in the end. And when you're working on sound for a game that takes a year and a half to make, it's amazing how one little thing can really satisfy you. And I would have to say, in NHL Hits, probably the most satisfying sound effect that we put into the game was simply the way that the puck was dropped and the torpedo sound effect that we put in with it.
After the break, we home in on Spy Hunter.
Lee from PNP Games here, welcoming you to the 7th season of the Electric Playground Classic. Whether you're just jumping in now or you've been watching since 1997, thank you for your continued support of EP and PNP Games. Your source for everything video games. We are stepping up the energy this season. Here, have a banana. Now, is it just me, or does watching the passion on display in EP make you want to participate in the video game industry on any level? The Electric Playground effect. While I'm no coder, engineer, QA tester, I'll celebrate games my way. By playing the heck out of them! And playing them forever!
The battle on the gridiron's about to heat up. The reigning champ, EA Sports, and their Madden 2002 is about to get hit by a multi-console assault from Sega and their NFL 2K2. It's going to be a close fight. Let's see how these two games stack up.
We're here with John Schappert. We're talking about Madden 2002. Now, this game is incredible. The graphics are so impressive. What was it like working on Madden?
I'm proud to be a part of the game. When you look at it, it looks broadcast, it looks lifelike. The player faces are realistic this year. We've got coaches. It's an amazing piece of software.
Each of the players have stats. It's usually from 1 to 100, right?
Yeah.
How do you guys determine those?
Well, those are always fun because that's where we get a lot of the attention from the players. So we have our own folks who work on that along with the coaches, along with Coach Madden himself. A lot of work goes into those ratings, and they're continuously adjusted throughout the course of the development. And invariably, we always get calls from players who say, gosh, give me a boost in running, give me a boost in blocking. I'm better catching than that. So it's always a bone of contention and fun when the players come visit us and talk with us. We had Jock Green come to our offices from Tampa Bay, and he drove over. We're in Orlando. He said, you got to work on your pass blocking here. You got to work on this, got to work on that. And he wasn't just giving us simple little things like fix this graphics here and there. He was a hardcore guy that knew the game inside and out.
Are the playbooks in the game are they close to playbooks in actual play?
Certainly. We work with the coaches, so we have the coaches' license. Not only do we have their likenesses in the game, but we have their input on their playbooks, and the teams run plays similar to those that they run in the real NFL.
Tell me what else has improved besides obviously the graphics?
We have a 2-minute drill. We have added depth in franchise mode where you can take over the Houston Texans, the expansion team that's going to join us. We've got new Madden cards. We've got a coach's corner. There's just tons of new features. Not only does it look pretty, it plays great.
Thank you for the interview. I can't wait to play.
Problem. Nice meeting you.
Thanks, John.
I'm here with Greg Thomas, president of Visual Concepts, and we're going to be talking about his latest football game, NFL 2K2.
We really tried to put a big focus on QB intelligence this year. You know, the QB used to be a pocket passer. It was all about his arm, you know, Dan Marino and all this stuff. And now you got, you know, Michael Vick coming in and all these other guys who are really great scrambling quarterbacks.
One of my favorite parts of your games has always been the presentation and the way when you play this game, it actually looks like you're playing an experience on television.
This year we introduced a whole new system, basically our director module, which ties in cameras into overlays, into commentary, into showing characters on the screen. What our director module does is let us blend all of those together so that, you know, you're going up to the line and the receiver just had a catch the last play for 18 yards. You put that right up on the screen. You focus in on him as he's going to the line, just like on TV. So as far as do we watch on TV, of course, we record every single game. We hired a friend of ours from Fox who actually did all the games on Fox last year. We're getting that much closer to reality.
Talk to me about the sound a little bit.
Yeah, well, we added a lot of smack talk last year, and we're going to continue that. We have something really cool this year whereby, let's say you get sacked. We're going to go into an action replay. We're going to bring the telestrator up, and exactly on cue when they're drawing this, they're going to say, and here's where the sack happened. He's going to circle the guy, he's going to come around, and the audio is going to match exactly with the telestration.
So obviously the big competition is Madden.
We think that, you know, on PlayStation 2 last year, people were really limited in the choices they had as far as the game goes. Madden gave everybody the complete package, but in a lot of ways, you're still just playing Madden. With NFL 2K Series, I think that we're offering someone a whole different choice. You know, our control's really different. The intelligence of our players is a lot different. The way you play our game is a lot different than Madden. And I think what we've kind of proven on Dreamcast so far is that, you know, we have a captive audience out there, and people who really like what we've built. And we want to make sure that everybody can play those games. And we're talking, you know, every platform.
So this is Baz Luhrmann. He's the director of Moulin Rouge. What I want to know from you is sort of what your take on interactive entertainment. This is the year of the video game movie.
Yeah.
What do you think of video games?
It all comes as one now. I mean, we see music and movies coming together. So the idea that a movie could be a game, it's totally natural, you know?
Yeah,
but that's not a new idea. That's an old Indian idea, actually.
Yeah.
Story as a game. I mean, I can't wait to do a movie where you play the protagonist. I can't wait to do that. You know? What have we got to fear? It's still story.
Do you play video games at all yourself?
I don't want to promote the other movie, but I do play Tomb Raider.
Cool.
Yeah, but Moulin Rouge, the game will be really good too. You know? Get seen in the can dress. Can, you know?
I'd love to see that. That'd be fantastic. Sign me up for one of those.
All right, I'll sing the first game.
Great.
You know, spies always have the coolest equipment. Take this jetpack, for example. Well, if you think this is cool, wait till you get behind the wheel of the G6155 Interceptor. I'm, of course, talking about the car from Spy Hunter. Now, I had a chance to talk to Michael Gottlieb, who's the producer for the new Spy Hunter game coming up from Midway. And, well, I guess you just press this button here. So, Michael, tell me about Spy Hunter. What platforms is this game coming out for?
Spy Hunter is coming this fall, shipping for PlayStation 2. It's going to be huge.
So tell me about some of the weapons that this Interceptor car has.
It's got 9mm machine guns, 15mm machine guns, unguided missiles, guided missiles, swarm missiles, EMP. It's got a flamethrower.
What about the helicopters? Those are always the worst.
Oh yeah, well you know the bad guys known as Nostra, and these Nostra helicopters are coming at you with full force. They got guided missiles, but you got guided missiles too, so you can just blow them out of the sky.
Has it got that overhead view still, or are we back behind the car? What's the deal?
We've got the tight shot in there in the cockpit. We've got a second-person camera, and then a third person pulled all the way back, so you can play it any way you want.
What about getting on water?
The 6155 has got the ability to morph. It can morph into a boat when you hit the water. You take enough damage to the exterior shell, it all drops off your motorcycle. You're fast and smooth down the road, right?
Wow.
And then if you take too much damage as a boat in the water, you turn into a personal watercraft.
All right, now let me ask you this. Where are the missile buttons on this thing?
You don't press this one, don't press this one. You can press this one.
That one's good.
Right. Unguided missiles, guided missiles, swarm missiles.
Is this the smoke screen?
That's the smoke
Let's
screen.
try that out.
Check that out,
That works great.
All right,
Oh
forget
man,
about
I
it.
totally need this car. What was the most difficult part of working on this game?
The game exists on 3 levels. You've got the basic gameplay mechanic of Spy Hunter. Prepare to be hunted, let the hunt be the hunted. You're being chased down here, right? You got to blow them up or they're going to blow you up, right? The second gameplay mechanic is shortcuts. There's multiple shortcuts all over the place, and the shortcuts help you evade enemies, help you find the satcoms, help you find a better way to get through the level in the shortest period of time.
Michael, we got a helicopter on our tail.
Oh yeah, that's Nostra, Tommy.
Which button is it?
Don't. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing. That is so uncool, man. I think this is over. It's time for you to go.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
There it is.
Oh, hey, Lee from PvP Games here. I'm just farming some weapon grinders while everybody else is offline. Say, what's your favorite time of day to play video games? Whether you're up gaming first thing in the morning with the sunrise or staying up late at night into the wee hours of the morning, I just hope you're playing something great. And if not, shop pvpgamesonline.com, your source for everything video games. Find something new to play. Play forever.
Guess who's coming to the Game Boy Advance? Crash Bandicoot.
Hey, we're here at Universal Studios Hollywood. I'm with Sean Krankel, and he's the producer for the brand new Crash Bandicoot game for the Game Boy Advance. What can we expect from the Game Boy Advance hardware version of Crash Bandicoot?
Well, the one thing a lot of people are trying to do is take a lot of the more old school titles from the SNES and bring them over to GBA. And the quality of those games, although they play great, visually just looks more like back in the early 90s era. What we wanted to do with Crash was really bring it up into the new era of the GBA stuff and make it stand out. We have every type of gameplay that was in the original Crashes. So fully 3D levels, fully 3D roaming, flying levels, as well as what you'd traditionally expect from Crash.
Now this is developed by the guys at Vicarious Visions, and those guys made the Tony Hawk game for the Game Boy Advance. They know their way around 3D polygons on this hardware.
We really wanted to go with somebody who understands how to push the hardware, somebody who understands how to take everything to the next level. And after we saw Tony Hawk, obviously it blew everyone away. The other thing was when they had come to us, they said, we want to take Crash where Crash should be. Not just a 2D side-scroller, but all the things that people have expected from the Crash franchise for years. They're technically amazing. We do have some fully polygonal models in the game, so what you're seeing in the game actually is 3D 90% of the time. All the stuff in the side-scrolling stuff is actually rendered out, so a lot of it looks very similar to what you would see in Donkey Kong Country.
Now I saw a level in the game, you showed me an early rev of it, where Crash is running down the corridor and he's being chased by this giant polar bear.
Right.
The Game Boy Advance is supposed to be 2D hardware. How are you able to do something like that in this game?
They can pull off quite a few tricks. I know they'd probably be a little upset if I gave away all of their secrets, but it's a mixture of there's polygons, there's FMV, there's sprites, and all together they've done a great job of blending it all to be very seamless and feel like it's a fully 3D environment.
Listen, I can't wait to see Crash Bandicoot on Game Boy Advance. It sounds like a match made in heaven, man.
It's gonna be great.
Thanks, Sean.
Reviews in the Run are coming up next.
Can I help you? I've done like 200 ads at this point, and maybe a half dozen of them can be considered gross out. And this is an issue for you? Just give this a watch, and if you don't like it, you don't have to use it.
Oh, that's tender. Perfect. PvPGamesOnline.com.
I mean, yeah, disgusting. I want to puke. I wish you waited till after lunch to show me that. What's that in your lip? What's that in your lip? Nothing. PvPGamesOnline.com. Whoa!
Hey, we're here at Indy and we're talking about Mario Kart Super Circuit for the Game Boy Advance. Now, when the Game Boy Advance was announced, this was the game that I was waiting for. Not only do you get 20 tracks, but there's also 20 other new tracks that you can pick up as you play throughout the game. And the tracks that you're picking up are actually the old SNES classics. The best reason to pick this thing up is being able to hook up and play with up to 3 of your friends. So 4 people at the same time could play Mario Kart on their own screen. All of the weapons and animations that the characters have has been amped up quite a bit from the old 16-bit days. And there's also a lot of 3D elements all the way throughout the game. Now, the thing to consider, though, is that it's still a 2D game, just like the old 16-bit Super Mario Kart. So it isn't as slick and snazzy looking as Mario Kart was on the N64. But for me, this is a fabulous cartridge. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. And so far, it is the best reason to pick up one of these things. Let's start with Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec for the PlayStation 2.
This is the most realistic looking and playing driving experience you will ever have in your entire life.
The graphics in this game are incredible. The cleanest and coolest looking vehicles we've ever seen in any racing game, period.
I mean, the replay mode actually looks like you're watching television.
Oh,
it's that
insane.
good.
It's obvious that the developers of this game are zealots for accuracy and wanted to be as realistic as they possibly could. The more that you win, the more money you make, and then there's extra special rewards, like you get new cars that you can choose to upgrade or sell for more money. You have to pick up licenses before you can get into certain sections in the game.
When you buy your car initially, you can actually upgrade it with the actual equipment, the actual shocks.
I think the coolest single feature of this game is that it utilizes the iLink, which is the FireWire connection between the PlayStation 2s, and you can actually link up 6 different PlayStation 2s and essentially have the arcade experience of playing one of those big arcade racers like Daytona at home. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10.
I give it a 9.
EGM like Gran Turismo 3 as much as me, they gave it a 10. Okay, let's move on to another PlayStation 2 game, which is also making some really big noise this year. It's Twisted Metal Black.
Well, I thought
Very
they called
dark.
it Twisted Metal Black because you can't see anything ever. The
No.
whole game is black.
That's a good interpretation, but no.
They should have called this Twisted Metal Dark. How about that?
It is very dark. They kept it dark for a reason, and I'll tell you why. The special moves and all the machine guns and the flamethrowers and the static shock hits and all the destruction and carnage that's in the game lights up the screen.
The cinematics are beautiful, don't get me wrong.
Yes.
But it's extremely
disturbing. Yes. It really amps up the attitude and the mood and the dark and creepiness of this game.
The levels are really, really big and different from what you've seen.
I love driving up to the Ferris wheel in the suburb level, bashing it, and then watching it roll down and crumple the opponents that get in its way.
Overall, I give it an 8.
9.5 out of 10. It's fabulous in multiplayer as well. EGM gave Twisted Metal Black an 8.5. All right, now let's talk about one of the bigger games for the Dreamcast this year. It's Crazy Taxi 2.
Now this is a fun game. It's simple, the graphics are there, it's funny.
The gameplay is manic. You go and you race and you pick up somebody, they give you a fare to take you to a location. The quicker you get them there, the more money you make.
Crazy Taxi 2 blows Crazy Taxi away.
I don't know.
For the one fact that you can jump.
You've got
how cool is that? You
crazy
can actually
hop motion
have a
in there.
jump button in Crazy Taxi.
I liked Crazy Taxi 2 very much, but I loved Crazy Taxi 1, and I played that to death. So when I got Crazy Taxi 2, although it was an improvement, the fact that there wasn't a whole bunch of new additions to this new game kind of made me feel a little bit ripped off. Plus, I wasn't as surprised.
Tons of new areas, though.
Well,
you're
this
not
one
talking about. You got not only the new areas, New York City and all that.
Yeah,
but I'm talking about Pyramid Mode, which is really fun, which gives you all these like little submissions. You get that one challenge level where the 4 Afro bros all get in your car.
Yeah, you look great with one of those, man. It looks awesome. I really wasn't as impressed with this game as I was with the first one last year. 7.5.
Okay, 8.
EGM gave it an 8.5. All right, now let's talk about the game that everybody's talking about on the PC, Max Payne. What'd you think?
The thing you got to talk about in Max Payne is bullet time, right?
Right.
Remember that great stuff in Matrix where they stop the camera and do the whole 3D thing? They have that in the game, and you can actually see the bullets coming at your head and get out of the way while you're shooting bullets.
On a revolutionary scale, this really ups the ante. The guys that developed this game, Remedy out of Finland, have been working on this game for about 3 years.
Right.
If you have a GeForce 3 card and a super fast computer, I have never seen visuals like this in a computer game. And they obviously drew upon influences from John Woo and The Matrix, and they wanted to add all these really cool sort of cinematic effects to all the action. All that stuff works perfectly. It works really, really well. And the textures and the animations and the facial expressions, beautiful. I mean, this is a fabulous looking game.
The detail is amazing. You can go up to water coolers and the water will come out.
I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10.
It's the best game of this year, hands down on the PC. I give it a 9.5.
CGW gave Max Payne a 4.5 out of 5 in their magazine, which translates to a 9 on our scale. I'd like to see something with Deus Ex sort of interactivity and polish and story development with Max Payne visuals. Is that too much to ask?
Yes.
Okay.
Here's a recap on our reviews, including scores from Electronic Gaming Monthly and Computer Gaming World. If you'd like us to review a specific game, visit our website at www.electplay.com.
Hey, if you like what you saw on today's show, wait till you see what we have in store for you next time.
What do we have in store for them next time?
Well, they have to wait.
Oh, see, I put you on the spot, didn't I? You didn't know what's coming up next.
Well, we're still working on it.
Of course, I'm talking about Spy. So just push this button here. It's not working. Mommy.
Give me that!
This classic episode of The Electric Playground was brought to you by P&P Games, your source for everything video games. Support the partners that support The Electric Playground. Thanks for watching, and play forever.